Everybody, and welcome today to Hex Token Channel. Your host Superman in the house. Pulsechain, PulseX, and Hex, of course. That's what we love to talk about, and we talk about a few other projects as well that are coming over to Pulsechain, either directly or indirectly. So it's a lot of fun, and we always look at the probable plays, not the possible plays. Generally, occasionally we do, but of course we love to talk about crypto. So why not? This is the way it goes. Hope you guys are having a good time out there. We're going to get into, of course, the stock market first. And then we're going to head into crypto. And, of course, then we're going to look at the Hex, of course, which looks absolutely amazing. The Hex magic carpet ride is definitely on play at the moment. And things have been reset. So the old, what I call it I said the old wild card has played out. Isn't that funny? You guys heard me talking about it a couple of weeks ago. I said, do you know what I mean? And, of course, now you know what I mean. So wild card's played. And it may play out again in the future. Just stay tuned for that. It's going to be pretty cool. Now, I think Brenton got it last time. I think you worked it out. One or two others worked it out. And looks like we got it. Woohoo! Rock on, as we say. The other thing, of course, we're going to talk about some Pulsechain projects that are going to be on there as well. So stay tuned for that. And, of course, the Hex Daily Stats coming up as well. So it'll be a lot of fun. Let's see who's in the house. And, of course, we've got a poll up at the moment. Before I move on, we've got a poll. What will the Hex price be by Hex's third birthday? I had misspelled birthday, but hey, I was just rushing that one. 2nd of December, above 7 cents, 5.5 cents to 6.9 cents, 3.1 cents to 4.9 cents, or below 3.1 cents, which is kind of where we kind of bottomed out so far, somewhere between 2.7 and 3 cents there. So get in there. We'll see what you say. That's pretty much what just over a month away, approximately. All right, cool. Let's get into the chat. Who's in the house, of course. We've got quite a few people in there already, so I better catch up. That's just the way it goes. Francis in the house there. Hey, good to see you, Francis, as well. And who else is in here? We've got Crypto7. Woo! Another YouTuber doing an amazing job up in the UK. Of course, Crypto7. And keep up the great work. It's great to see Crypto7 back streaming as well. Just dropping alpha everywhere. Great stuff. Lies beneath in the house there. Hello, how are you today? Very good, Lies. And, of course, this is the ultimate strategy of this channel. Hex, EHEX, PLS, and PLSX for the win. And that's pretty amazing. Now, I did see on Twitter, I saw a comment, someone just trolling, typically, trolled a thing, putting a whole list of different YouTubers. These are some of the most consistent YouTubers out there in the Pulsechain Hex space. And because all of them talk about other projects at some point in time, they all got smashed. They all got slammed. And, of course, Hex Token Channel was on there too. So it's hilarious. Just remember, this is crypto. So I laugh at those guys a big time. Crypto7 in the house there. Great time to be alive. I'm falling asleep, so we'll be my breakfast viewing. Nice one, Crypto7. Yeah, definitely smash the likes. What else there? We've got Blobfish King in the house as well. Good morning all from Australia. Hi, Crypto7. Enjoyed your last stream, says Blobfish King. That's pretty nice. Big shout out there. BC in the Matrix in the house as well. Yeah, boy. My boy, BC. And Rango as well. Morning all. Claim my Texan airdrop. Hopefully signing is all good. Nice one there, Rango. Your signing should be okay there, Rango. We've got the Texan group in our channel. It should be all good. Onboarding for Pulsechain. And, of course, you got to expect that. Now, we know that there's some big YouTubers out there, big that have been shilling Bitcoin and margin trading, all that sort of stuff. This is the real high-risk stuff in crypto, right? Margin trading, that gets people wrecked, right? And they shill the referrals and they to exchanges and they get all the commissions. They have hundreds of thousands of followers, and of course they get wrecked there. So they're going to be coming into the Pulsechain ecosystem. Talking about Pulsechain, right? So you got to remember that that's what's coming. So the bigger the current native Pulsechain and Hex YouTubers are, the better. And of course with Pulsechain, all the projects are coming, and so we've got to talk about a lot of different projects. So just to look forward to that, because we need to send out the messages and get people on board into Pulsechain and, of course, Hex as well. So just remember that there's a bit of a balance going on there, and people have to find their way. In that. Refined in the house there as well. Woohoo! Good to see you, Refined. Uncle Will as well. Let's get this party started. Absolutely. We're getting started already. And Wookie's in the house there. Afternoon Kiwis. New Zealand Kiwis in the house. Nice one, Wookie. Wookie's one of our moderators too in the chat there. Dave from Down Under. Time for Superman Hex Dance. You haven't done a Hex Dance for a while, have I? But I think you might be right. Maybe we'll pull up the music later at the end of the live stream. Just remind me, and we're going to get funkied up here on Hex Token Channel. Christian in the house as well. Hello. Good to see you. D-Hex as well. And nice one there. Uncle Will says, Icosa on F and fire. Yeah, ICOSA there pretty much linked to that the HSI buybacks, and wow, with the Hex price on fire for sure. Now, if you'd been accumulating ICOSA, it would be looking pretty good now. Your value pretty much is, I haven't even looked at it yet, but we're going to look at it. It's probably up quite a bit there. Shano in the house as well. Good to see you, Shano. Woohoo! And Brendan as well. Now, if you guys don't know Shano, of course, he's been getting famous on social media there, retweeted by Richard Art, the man himself, our founder, and of course, looking good. Brendan in the house as well. Morning, folks. Good to see Brendan. We've got Sandy Beach in the house and Sandra Larson as well. A double whammy. Good to see both of you in the chat. And of course, Sandy Beach, one of our awesome community moderators as well. Brendan's in the house there. I guess the SG you did, Brendan. You did indeed. So well done to you. And I hope to give you the Superman bow down, Brendan. Well done. And man, did the reset happen nicely there, Brendan? It was pretty sharp. Sandy Beach in the house there. Hello, Hex Token and everybody. Good to see you, Sandy Beach. And Lost in Crypto as well. Woohoo! Get excited. Definitely get excited. The Hex Magic Carpet Ride has left the building. And of course, I hope you enjoyed the thumbnail that we had today. That was pretty awesome. Crypto Freedom in the house as well. Good afternoon, Superman. Crypto 7 in the house. Yeah, woohoo! Yeah, we've got some YouTubers in the house, that's for sure. It's always a pleasure, of course, to have other YouTubers in the chat. Fat Sammy as well. Hi, Fat Sammy. Good to see you. Obviously, one of our 2 community leads with Brian. We do appreciate everything they do in the Discord. If you haven't joined our Discord, hit the link in the video description. We're heading up towards 950 members in Discord. We'll talk more about that later on. That's pretty exciting. Christian says, Hex is taking us far, far to the next galaxy. Indeed, it is. And Sandra says, good to see the family. Nice one, Sandra. Always a pleasure to have you in the chat there too. Sandy Beach says, I love the thumbnail. Yeah, the thumbnail was pretty cool. Get a pretty nice one there with Richard Hart and the Magic Carpet Ride. Love it. All right, cool. Let's get into the stock market, folks. Woohoo! We've had the green for quite a while after having red in the stock market. And of course, that has followed, largely through the crypto market. But let's see how the stock market's going today. So this is the results will be for Wednesday, US time. Obviously, we're already in on Thursday here in Kiwi time, down under. So the Dow ends flat as Google, Microsoft lead the route there that's got the big word there in big tech. And let's have a look at the indicators. We've got the Dow Jones Industrials. This is the top 30 industrials in the US. That is pretty much flat today. Just up 2 points there to 31,839. The S&P 500 is down just over 0.7%, down 28 points to 3,830. The Nasdaq, with all the tech companies in it, is down 2%, so that's quite decent. That's 228 points down to 10,970 on the Nasdaq there. The S&P 500 VIX, this is the volatility index. Volatility, price goes up and down, or risk goes up and down in this case. And, of course, that is down 4% there. We're down one point to 27.28. The dollar index is down 1.2% against its trading partners, down to 109.5. And that's kind of where the markets are at the moment. So let's jump over to commodities and have a look at the oil prices. We got Brent oil is up $2.40 or almost 2.6% to $94. No surprise there, I guess, with the OPEC cartel in place. And, of course, we've got West Texas oil there, up 26 cents to $88 on the West Texas there. So just a bit more elevated, obviously, as the cartel's able to control the supply. Now, let's have a look at gold at the moment, $16.69, pretty flat. And, of course, silver there at $19.53, up 4 cents, 0.25% there gain on silver. Remember, Kiyosaki, this is the rich man, the poor man's investment. Kiyosaki says, rich dad, poor dad. And, of course, talking about that, particularly if the Fed pivots. The logic is if the Fed pivots and stops raising rates, maybe it gets to that 4.5% federal funds rate, then pivots, then the US dollar will lose its value, relatively speaking, and the silver will have a rally. And he's talking about anything between 5 and 25x return, which is pretty significant on that. That's a pretty bold call there on the old silver. We'll keep watching out for that, though. All right, let's get into the comments. The Dow closed flat Wednesday, weighed down by a rout in Microsoft and Alphabet following overwhelming quarterly results. So we are in the result season here. Alphabet fell more than 9% after its third quarter revenue and profit fell short of Wall Street estimates amid the impact from slowing advertising revenue that is expected to continue. And of course, this is what we often see when things get a bit more in terms of recession. We see this slowdown in advertising revenue. That impacts YouTubers as well. Obviously, flows onto YouTubers. Management Q4 outlook for overall advertising business to continue to be impacted by difficult year-on-year I guess it's comparisons. I'm not quite sure what comps means. And continued headwinds within certain ad verticals and formats. Meta platforms closed more than 5% lower and fell further into the red. And after hours trading, after third quarter earnings fell short of Wall Street estimates as well. So these are the big tech stocks that are having the being under pressure, and of course have huge impacts on employment as well. Microsoft, meanwhile, fell more than 7% as weaker growth in its cloud business Azure and software guidance overshadowed quarterly results that topped Wall Street estimates. We talked about that the other day, actually. The biggest surprise was that core Azure Office 365 implied growth was reduced more than expected as an enterprise spending slowdown is well underway and Microsoft is guiding accordingly. Now, this is probably the key outtake there is that enterprise spending slowdown. That's probably of significance there as well. However, on the bright side, as we said, oil is up. Energy it was up more than 1%, bucked the broader trend lower, led by gains in Hex Corporation, ConocoPhillips, and Halliburton Company there. The only one I'm familiar with from my perspective is ConocoPhillips. So that's the one there. Hex Corporation rose more than 4% after reporting better than expected quarterly results driven by stronger production. Nice to see that. And Halliburton was boosted by an upgrade for Wells Fargo to overweight from Eagle, citing further room for gains as oil due to oil prices pretty much. Visa, meanwhile, closed nearly 5% higher after reporting quarterly results that topped estimates on both top and bottom lines, driven by ongoing consumer spending and recovery and broader activity. Obviously, this is something that the Fed would be, taking into account, but probably not this particular measure with Visa, but definitely the consumers are still holding up there. All right, so that's pretty much the markets at the moment. Let's jump into crypto and have a look at crypto at the moment. Look at this, beautiful, magnifique, yeah, beautiful. BTC at 20,827. Now, remember, I talked about Capo, one of the Bitcoin traders, very good. I like his assessments. We talked about that yesterday. He was talking about Bitcoin hitting 21K and then getting rejected, right? Obviously, that's based on the information at hand. So if that does happen, that's a pretty big deal, right? So that's a pretty big deal. So, yeah, 21. So we're pretty close to that now, right? The 20,827 on the old Bitcoin. Let's actually have a look at this, up 4% on the 24-hour basis. You can see it there, powered up from 19,389 all the way up to 20,800. Not quite at 21K yet, though. And remember the chart yesterday, it gets rejected on his view. And then it comes down into November, middle of November, down to that 14K, that 14K area, or maybe just slightly below 13,750 as well. So that's kind of closer to the Richard Hart's 11K and pray. So that's kind of where we are on the Bitcoin. Looking good, though. We enjoy it while it's here. ETH at the moment really powered really well. $1,574, up 8.4%. Really nice on ETH move there. And BNB only up modestly there, 1.8% to 290. XRP up 2% to 47%. Dogecoin having a blast out there, 16% up there. Doge, of course, that's probably related to Elon Musk and Twitter. I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a little video of him walking into the Twitter head office with a sink and just one of his sense of humor, I guess, with that one. So that's kind of some of the highlights there with the crypto. Let's get into Meta's Metaverse. A bit of crypto news. Meta's Metaverse division reports $3.67 billion quarterly loss. Meta's overall third quarterly losses are $600 million more than expected. So they expected to have a loss of $600 million more than expected. You can say what you want. You know what I'm thinking. You guys know what I'm thinking. All right. You guys know what I'm thinking. Meta revealed that its Reality Labs Metaverse division lost over $3.6 billion in the third quarter of 2020 compared to $2.63 billion at that same time last year. This year continues to be challenging for Meta's Metaverse ambitions. The project, basically, if people participate in this project, they will be enslaved in here. These guys are treacherous. They make it look like a carrot. They make it look like a carrot, but really it's a stick. It's a stick. And of course, once people are sucked in, they're zombified into these things. And yeah, that's not great. This year continues to be challenged for Meta's metaverse ambitions. In Q 2022, the project lost a reported $2.8 billion. According to the quarterly report, Meta's Reality Labs has lost over $9.43 billion year to date. Some crazy numbers right there. We do anticipate the Reality Labs operating losses in 2023 will slowly grow significantly year over year. Beyond 2023, we expect to pace Reality Labs investments such that we can achieve our goal of growing overall company operational income in the long run, playing the long game, of course. The metaverse is a buzzword used to describe the next iteration of the internet. The metaverse is largely characterized by persistent shared virtual worlds in which people interact as 3D avatars. I can think of nothing worse. I think I far prefer real people, but to some degree, you got to get that life metaverse balance. That's what people are going to say in the future. I got to get my life metaverse balance right, man. I'm 50 years old and I haven't managed to meet anybody in real life. I've married 6 avatars, but I haven't had any real life. I mean, it's going to be funny, man. It's going to be sad too in that case. Launched in August 2020, Reality Labs is Meta's virtual and augmented reality arm that designs hardware and software, including Meta's Oculus virtual reality set and the Horizon World Metaverse project there. Horizon Worlds saw fresh scorn earlier this month on social media when it was revealed the legs added to the avatars would live in the metaverse were faked by using motion capture. Despite today's poor financial performance, Meta founder and CEO Mark Zuckerberg remained optimistic about the future of the company and its metaverse. While we face near-term challenges on revenue, the fundamentals are there for a return to stronger revenue growth. He said, we're approaching 2023 with a focus on prioritization and efficiency that will help us navigate the current environment and emerge an even stronger company. This is terrifying, this thing, honestly. And man, it's going to make a lot of sheep out there, and they don't realize that they're in a paddock surrounded by wolves when this thing launches, boy. All right, so cool. That's pretty much that. Let's get into the markets for Hex. Woohoo! Magic carpet ride, man. And of course, we were talking about this. Brendan got it pretty nicely the other week there. There were one or two other people that, from memory, that were commenting as well. Let's get back into some of the comments. I don't want to get too far ahead of the comments. I think we got up to there. I love the thumbnail. We definitely got up to that. Lots of bulls today, says Burke Levert. Yeah, definitely bull when the price is moving. You guys know that the price is like 95% of the growth in the community comes from the price, honestly. When the price is moving up, things just step up. But, the people come out of the woodwork, things just grow really fast. The price is really, you can do marketing, do lots of other things, and sometimes that can be pretty effective. But on the general case, it's really the price attracts people. So, yeah. What else there? We got a couple other things as well. Bad man says, Shano, yeah. I think PC Metaverse will be awesome, says Sandy Beach. The Pulse player says, part of me wants to believe that the launch of Pulsechain will be in the documentary, either that or launches at the same time, and it's talked about in the film. That'd be pretty interesting, there, Pulse player, if that were the case. I haven't seen any hints of that, but that would be pretty interesting if it was. Hex Token, that's funny. Married to 6 avatars. Yeah, that's true. Well, this is what it's going to be like, right? It's going to be like, maybe that people didn't know, the young people in the future don't know anything better, and so they forget about the actual other people who exist at all. All right, cool. That is pretty much this Hex chart. Look at this. Woohoo! Look at that bad boy there. Let's zoom in on this. And of course, look, we had this back here in June 18. We got to 2.81 cents. That was our low, June 18. We did tap on that again on the 20th of September. We got to 2.77. So just slightly lower there. And that there, folks, was pretty much 94 days. So just over 3 months, or 3 months approximately, that was. So real accumulation in that zone. But of course, since we've hit this one on the 20th of September, 2.77, we've definitely had this accumulation zone. And of course, this is still accumulation zone. Yeah, that's pretty much where I've got it going right through to the 16th of December. And this is playing out pretty nicely, right? Accumulate. We did say that there'd be a wild card several weeks ago. Brendan and a couple other people picked that up, and we got it here. And of course, we've got the Hex Godwell, we've got liquidity LP reset, and that reset happened too. So let's pull that up. Here is the liquidity. Currently, this has been resetting all over the last 24 hours, and of course, it's changed quite dramatically. Yeah, I'm just going to go to our Discord, into our price chat. We've been posting a lot of these updates in the chat yesterday. I'm just going to pop up and see if I can find the one. This is the first one. Look at this. Look at that formation there. That was the one there. We had all the buy side on the right here, and of course the sellers on the left here on the reset. And then look what happened. Look what happened now. Now look what it looks like now. So completely reset here. Pretty interesting stuff there. The price was 4.22 cents at the time of this snapshot, and look how it's changed. And of course, from here we ended up getting, because there's not a lot of sell pressure on this side. Obviously, there's limit orders and other things, but in terms of the liquidity pool, that was pretty much it. And now we've got this nice set here. Look at this, beautiful. So these candles here are about $90,000 each. In these blue candles on the left, this is the sell side, by the way. That's pretty interesting. We've got in each candle is about 1.86 million hex, and we've got a couple of these. So what's that, about 400k or something like that in terms of value. And of course, at the moment we've got the market price here at 4.73, and we've just eat through this. Now this will change a lot, over time as you eat through it. Like, people can reposition, and we expect that to change, just like we saw when we had a snapshot here. Now we did a couple of snapshots of that in the price chat here. And if you like talking about price, then get into our Discord. We got the price chat under General Richard Art Tokens price chat there. Yeah, so we've got lots of cool stuff in there. That's what it looked like when it was at 4.65 cents yesterday, just before I turned in for the evening, I think. So this kind of looked like that, and sort of see it's changed quite a bit again. Now it kind of looks, I guess, not too similar there. So we got up here, this goes to 4.9 cents. We've got this here getting down to 1.43 million hex candles. That's at 5 cents there. So that's our 5 cent mark right there. And then we come down to this one here. We've got just under 5.1. We've got million candles, these blue sticks here, a million hex in each of these. And then, of course, we've got 5.12 and 5.2. And then this one right at the end here, 5.4 cents is this candle here. And then we drop away again down to here, down to 5.47. There's only 82,000 hex, but this will change as the price moves up or down, right? So we got all the support. Look at all the support in here. This is our reset. This is a bit of our this is part of our wild card that's played out here with the reset. So pretty nice. So very looking good, folks. And of course, let me just jump out of some of these. We've got coming up, folks. So we've got, let's have a look at the percentage change. So like I say, we had 90 days to from our 2.8 to 2.7. We've had a nice accumulation zone still going. And of course, there are some things we don't know, which is Pulsechain launch. So just take that into account. But this is maybe this is a signal for a Pulsechain coming sooner. And of course, that bodes pretty well. So very cool. Now we did have Richard Hart talk about, talking about November, remember, in some of his updates. Let's actually talk about that quickly. I haven't even pulled that video up, but let's see if I've got that video still. And see whether we can pull that up as well. Yeah, I think it's this one here. So let's play this one.
Okay. Let's measure the next bear. Let's do that. Let's see how smart Richard be. Next bear market. 364 days. That's about a year. Okay. Now let's measure this bear market from my 65K top, 427 days. But let's measure this bear market from the Judas candle, which where I think you have to deleverage from, because people got long there. You need to get the shit liquidated out of them and undone. All them people need wrecked. NFT guys wrecked. Leverage traders wrecked. Assholes that sold you to top wrecked. Michael Saylor, I'm talking to you, you bitch. So like, let me measure it for you. We had like 300 and I'm gonna get on the daily for this. Let me get on the daily so I can give you more specific measurements. One day we'll have advanced screen sharing technology, but we haven't come that far yet. So if I have measured this correct, and I'm going to verify that I did. Right now, we're 332 days in. from the top. And that top, the 69K top, was November 21. So a year out from that is November 21 again.
Right.
That's a month and a week, bro. Or a month and 2 weeks. Month and 2 weeks. So in a month and 2 weeks, bro, maybe Fed, finds a way to pivot. Can't raise rates anymore because it's blowing out jobs too much. Like we got our 85% dip doodle, whatever. Like, bro, next month and a half, you better have your plan ready because it could be the end of the bear, bro. It could. Next month could be the end of the bear. And that's good ass news, man.
Yeah.
So people don't realize it. People don't think bear ever ends. They think it just goes on forever.
Yeah.
Nope, it doesn't. Unless you buy the wrong fucking coin, it just goes to zero and stays there forever. But in shit we're looking at has product market fit, doesn't tend to go to zero and stay.
Yeah.
Does normal kind of oscillate stuff. So I think the best news I have to leave with you guys is Pulsechain is going to be stronger and better with a more well audited consensus method that will benefit from the upgrades that Ethereum will make in the future. And it didn't cost us any time. It was quicker. And then, so that's great news. And then this bear market could be over in a month is great news.
So yeah, so that pretty much was indicating the end of second half of November there. So pretty cool. We're entering into November, of course. Currently here on the candle, we got 26th of October. And of course, we have had 90 days between those two different dips down to 2.7, 2.8. And of course, at the moment, we've had a really nice move higher. So let's have a look at the high move high there. So since this low here, this last low, it took about a month to get us to where we are. We've got our nice reset and wildcard playing out. And so we're pretty much climbed within 5 days up by 60%. So 60% here. And typically, if we have a look at some of the other rises that we've had, like this one here and this one here before the reset, this one here went up to about 103%. This one here. So we're only on 60% on this one so far. And if we take it from, say, this bottom here, this one here took us up to about 131%. So looking really good. And of course, in the end of November here, this area here is when Richard's talking about maybe it's over, right? Maybe it's over there. And of course, we saw this interesting reset at this stage in late October, which was pretty fun. Now, I expected to have this here happen in somewhere in here. That's where I expected it to happen. Now, I didn't mention that, but that's kind of where I felt that it would happen there. That was just sort of implied there in the accumulation zone. But this is kind of where I thought this might happen in here. So maybe around the 16th of November, mid of next month. And of course, we already had it move already early. So that's pretty bullish for me. Now, I've also got, obviously, the Fed rate hike. This is the things that are going to temper the market and maybe trigger that November dip that we're talking about, where by mid-November or something, we get down to that low for Bitcoin, maybe 14K, maybe 11K in pray. It's definitely possible in here. Now, the market does know the 75 basis points is coming, but the market does some weird things when it gets the news. And of course, if the market is tapering, right, so we get to 3.754% federal funds rate with this next hike of 75 basis points. And then, of course, we have the final one to get to 4.45% federal fund rate by the time we get to the 14th of December. That leads us over here, right? So that may be 50 basis points. Now, if we get slightly lower amounts on these, that's very bullish for the market. So, and maybe we don't, this is the last one in the 2022, and we don't get any more interest rate rises into 23, maybe possibly 25 basis points in February next year. But hopefully we just organically, the inflation, stays 8.2% or lower. That's going to be pretty important. Now, remember that I think it's the 14th. I've got it on the Hedron chart. We've got the inflation coming out for October and November. I think it's the 14th, if I remember rightly. So that's going to be coming out, or the 11th. Maybe it's the 11th coming out as well. So that's another big mark there. So we've got one, inflation and the Fed rate hikes there. Those are the things that are going to cause us the volatility, potential retrace, and maybe we'll see Bitcoin get that sell-off. But what will happen to Hex? Well, that's a little bit more interesting now. We've had this first front run here. And of course, by the end of November, even if we get some volatility in here, I think this zone here, all the way through to mid-November, maybe the markets do retrace, then obviously the higher we are, the more buffer we have in terms of where we will go. So that means that if we get that pullback and we're up here over, say, 5 cents or something like that, 5.5 cents, I think that puts us pretty well for giving us a lot of price support, that cushion, even if the market does do the 14K or 11K in pray and here that we didn't have otherwise before. So I think that's pretty neat there at this stage, and it makes me feel a lot more comfortable heading into it. Then by the time we get to mid-November, I feel like, well, if the Bitcoin market does get that 14K or 11K in pray, then we've got a chance to really rally out of the second half of November, which pretty much times pretty well with Richard's comments in that video. That's kind of where I feel this might go. So that's kind of cool and feeling good about that. Now, the other thing, of course, is we got this here, Pulsechain. Now, this is my speculation, of course, getting a V3 testnet of Pulsechain in November. That would be really, really cool and super bullish, and that would help keep Hex price up as well. That would be a super. We know that that's going to be a relatively short one, yeah, they just want to test it, get it going live, get people using it, interacting with it, find out any issues, and of course make sure that their fee adjustments and everything else that they want to do are working pretty well. And then wham bam, thank you. We're going to get into it after that. It's pretty cool. And then I've obviously got the Hopium here on the launch here. Imagine if we had December a Christmas launch or a January launch. That'd be pretty cool. Now there is an argument for maybe March, April, but we're not going to talk about that at this stage. We're going to just talk about a Hopium one here at this stage. So that's pretty cool. That's kind of where we are at this stage. Pretty nice at the moment. 60% run, and we'll be looking pretty good for the move higher actually at the moment. So I'm actually Hex looking pretty good indeed. And like I say, we may, at least based on these previous two rises, got 40% left on that as well. So even if we did 100% on this, that would get us to around, let me have a look here, around about 6.2 cents. That'd be a pretty nice little buffer if we could get that in the next couple of days. Obviously, then there's going to be a bit of sell pressure in there, but looking pretty good. Let me know in the chat what you guys think. And of course, we've got the poll running up at the moment. And here, what will the Hex price be by Hex's third birthday? Above 7 cents. So like just over a month's time, 2nd December. 5 cents to 6.9, 3.1 to 4.9, or below 3.1 cents there. So let us know on the poll. They've got 71 votes. Get in there and vote, folks. It's part of the fun. All right, so cool. That is pretty much that. And the liquidity looking pretty nicely there too with the reset. Let's have a look at a different chart. This is on a 12-hour different basis, this chart. So it's looks a little different here. We did almost touch 5 cents. Can you believe it? Almost touched 5 cents. We got to 4.999 on this chart. So it was a pretty nice move there. We got the bullish EMA 13 cross. That's that yellow line crossing the Bollinger Band 50% price range. That's the 50% price average, and that's a bullish sign. We also had the tightening of the Bollinger Band, so very, very nice. It's almost like the wild card knew what was happening with this chart here, and that played out pretty nicely. Let's just say that much. All right, so cool. And we've got the buyers here looking absolutely super strong, up at 52 on the DMI indicator, with the momentum of the trend absolutely super high. Look at this. Unbelievable there. 70.69. Don't you love it? That's pretty amazing. Sellers all the way down here on the red line, all the way down at 8.8. Man, oh man, you can't get much better than that, folks. That looks amazing on there. Let's have a look at the RSI. We've got a bit of room on the RSI. We've got it really high at the moment at 81. So it might cool off a bit here and just zigzag. It would be pretty bullish. Just zigzag pulls off in here and zigzags in here. That'd be pretty cool. Remember, 50 is the sort of the bull, the getting more bullish line there over 50. So we're really high up here at the moment. If we have a look back at some of the previous highs here on the RSI, this is on the daily, by the way, you can see we actually got up here. We got up to 93. That was pretty bullish there. That was in September last year, obviously, when the Hex made its all-time high. So look what it did over there. So definitely plausible to go higher from here, but definitely worth watching that for sure on the RSI. Stochastic RSI. So really this kind of weights the more recent prices here. You can see we're also up pretty strong here, and maybe we'll get a bit of a zigzag like that. That'd be pretty bullish if we get up to that 6.2 cents mark, for example, and give us a nice cushion for any major retrace as well, I suspect. Also, so maybe that 1 cent, that 0.5 cent that some people were looking at won't come, and we have seen the Hex price get defended pretty well at the around this just under 3 cent mark here. But definitely at 3 cents. Look at us, 3 cents, boom, 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 boom. So looking pretty good there. We've got a new day candle here, and just started in the red. Let me sort of look here, 106 here. So we're just into the new day, just started a new candle. and we'll watch out where this goes today. It's going to be pretty interesting. And in terms of resistance, there we've got 5.6 cents. That would be pretty nice getting above this mark. And of course, here would be 7 cents. Imagine getting above that's pretty bullish there. Remember, we did get this sell-off into here. Slowly and surely wins the race. That'd be pretty nice to consolidate at this high level. All right, so cool. Let's jump over to the whale bot and see what the whale's been doing. 72 million hex in stake 14 hours ago. That was just a one of these short stakers. Anything less than like 3-4 months. 61 days here. And they made a 10.8% APY. So we'll look at what else. 70 million hex staked. So this one looks like they just restaked again for 163 days. So nice. Like I said, a lot of them do just restake. And of course, with Pulsechain getting so much closer, I think it's pretty good idea to stake there. Hey, Crypto Dan, let's go. Member for 2 months. I appreciate that, Crypto Dan. Woohoo! And a big shout out to you in the chat there. What else we got there? We got 4.9 million bought for 239,000 10 hours ago. See if there's any comment on this one. The FOMO is real, says X93. I like that as well. The sweet smell of Pulsechain is in the air. Time for Hex to shine once more. I like that too. So getting a lot of nice more comments coming back into the market there. 5.9 million sold for 282,000. That was 9 hours ago. Probably a trader or something, but he didn't see the liquidity first. Yeah. This is why we can't have nice things. Yeah. So probably got wrecked a little bit there on the slippage, no doubt, from that comment. And that's pretty much it. So I think that's is that the highlights? Yeah, I think that's it for the whale bot. There's not too much in there today, but we got that reset. Richard also made a comment, and I thought this was pretty funny. I love when the loudest and most butthurt are left on the sidelines watching prices double. So yeah, it definitely is the case there. And as we come back to the start here, we've got the accumulation zone. So hopefully many of you that have been watching Hex Token channel have been accumulating your Hex, as well as, of course, participating in some of the other alpha projects that are in here in the ecosystem at the moment that have been making pretty good gains for the most part. So pretty nice there. So that was a cool comment from Richard there. I love when the loudest and most butthurt are left on the sidelines watching prices double. Woohoo! Yeah, rock on, bring it on. So we like that. Let's jump into Hedron. And Hedron at the moment are looking interesting on Hedron. Very counterintuitive at the moment. We've had lots of buys. We've had larger holders. We have larger holders selling, and of course offsetting the buys. So let's have a look at the buys at the moment on a 24-hour basis. 83 buys versus 69 sells at the moment. We still have got this nice upward trend, this nice wedge in place. Our cup and handle broke down. So this cup and handle here broke down. Cup and handle here it looks like it's not doing too much either. It's still slightly intact, but we do have still got this uptrend in place. And it looks like we just had some more selling while we're doing the live stream going into here at the moment. So it's going to be a tough ask because we're expecting a nice big rally in here. It's going to be interesting to see that play out. Obviously, if Hex calms down, then maybe Hedron will get paid a bit more attention. Nothing is really changing with the big auctions coming up here. We've got 60 on the 13th of November. Let me know in the chat there what you think is happening with Hedron at the moment. Maybe it's just that quiet before the storm here. That's kind of what we're feeling at this stage. Certainly not quite as bullish as I would have thought coming into this current period. We do have the interest rate hike coming up as well on the 2nd November next week. So I think it's Tuesday. That's a little bit of a worry if the price is at this stage down here. And of course, then we've got the inflation, as I said earlier. I think I said the 11th. It's the 10th of November. That's the October results coming up there. Then we have the HSI stakes auctions coming up. Massive. 13th of November. This is a big deal. 67,000 T-shares will be during this process with over 2,500 HSIs up for grabs on the 13th of November there. We've also got this equates to 0.64% of all T-shares. So that's a big deal. It's 10.4, just over 10.4 million T-shares. That's a big deal there, right? So 521 million Hex. I mean, this is some big money, big money here. If you multiply it by the Hex price, that's huge money. So it's going to be interesting to see that. Obviously, where Hedron comes from, are people buying Hedron to bid? Are they going to just use their minted Hedron? There's obviously tons of that out there. What's that? 112 trillion Hedron in total supply. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see that. The other thing, of course, is maybe once we get past this Fed rate hike on the 2nd, we've got a few days to go, right? So let's have a look at the time frame that we've got here, which just ended this new day candle here. But I've been surprisingly a couple of the bigger holders selling into this rather than letting it rally. So yesterday we were almost on a breakout rally, and then some of the larger holders sold into this and stopped the uptrend. So that was kind of weird. Maybe they just felt they won the money. It's all sorts of reasons why. We've got 5 days to go to the Fed rate hike there. And then, of course, to the inflation, we've got 13 days. And then finally, to get us to the big HSI auctions on the 13th of November, 16 days. So that's kind of the window. There's still quite a bit of time in crypto there, just over 2 weeks. Now, maybe the best time is on the 3rd of November. Maybe that is the best time for an entry there. Obviously, unless the markets decide to do a meltdown into the Fed here. So it's going to be interesting to watch that as well. It's sort of that bearish idea. But at the moment, getting closer and closer, 16 days to go. And maybe the rally will happen and happen pretty fast. We did see this rally. If you look at it, let me just get rid of that there. Let me just post on that there. So we did get this rally here. It did happen pretty fast. Look at that. I mean, it happens pretty fast within days. So, maybe 2 weeks there. So we might reasonably expect something like this to happen. So we've got a lot of people talking about buying Hedron, getting into Hedron. We will see. But at the moment, we've got the all-time high at 7,270. We got our local high that we had at 6,280. We've got this 10,000 line, which people are thinking that, many commentators are saying we might lose the zero. So that would get us to there. I think the upside price for me was a 1.68 golden ratio, and that would be 12,000. That's 12,000. So that would be probably the upside there. And at the moment, the Goldilocks zone here, the golden zone here is currently 4,800 to 5,000. So that's where I kind of expected us to get to by the time we get to the Fed rate hike. So there's still got time to go for that. But we need a bit of buying coming in, that's for sure. So we've got 5 days for that. To get us to 4,800 to 5,000. It's kind of the near-term price there. And then will we get that rally afterwards into the big HSIs? The other thing, of course, in November, we're expecting update from Maximus Poly Maximus. Now, that's going to allow all the smaller players to come together and bid like wow. So that really means that we're going to have a lot more bidding into the HSI auctions for those T-shares, particularly 89 different HSIs, which are over 1 million. Those are the prime ones, the ones that people are after, particularly any of them that have a launch bonus up to 10x multiplier. So that's a really big deal. So that's going to be expecting that to launch, that minting phase for Poly Maximus to launch in early November and have a short minting phase. And so let's have a look at some of the updates from Dipcatcher around that. We got benefits of Poly Maximus 8 hours ago, high yield opportunities for Hedron holders, earn more ICOSA yield staking Hedron. Of course, that's been added into their product offering for the Poly Maximus, makes staking Hedron easier, have more bidding power for HSIs, and of course that is the big call there at the beginning. Own high quality hex stakes, and so they'll be able to, because everyone will be able to join together in a pooled bidding, they'll be able to get better quality HSIs as well. Increase liquidity for HSI ownership, and of course bringing more people into the ownership of the hex and HSI stakes there, and of course 99.9% gas savings for ending HSI hex stakes. So pretty cool on that one. I'm going to retweet that. So let's have a look there. We've got a couple comments there as well. We're going to jump through that. So Maximus team will be incentivized to grow Poly Maximus as well. 1%. This is I expected to see this. This is sort of where they make new products and they build it into that team DAO token. And it's only going to get better and better and better. So you got 1% of Hedron used to mint. Is going to be 1/3 rewarded to the team stakers during term 1, 1/3 rewarded to team stakers during term 2, and 1/3 reward to the mystery box there. Interesting there, the old mystery box there. 1% of Hex at redemption to teams and stakers as well. So that's pretty interesting. Participation on that Poly Maximus there, and of course the team DAO benefiting already from product growth in the Maximus ecosystem. This will continue to grow, add more value to the team DAO token. It's going to be fun to see that play out. So I really like how they're doing that, kind of shaving stuff off there into that one. Now, Dipcatcher was doing finalizing the Poly contract for audit. That was 6 hours ago, and he was live doing that. And pretty amazing. Here, 3 hours ago, Poly is a pumpamental for Hex, Hedron, ICOSA, Maxi Team, Desi, Lucky Trio, and Base. You got to love that. That is pretty cool. And retweet that out too. And we're getting up to the main event, folks. 2 hours ago, Dipcatcher, the dev for Poly Maximus there, just sent the Poly Maximus contract to the auditor and activated a 3-day private test. Next step, we will finish the front end and do a public test. So that's coming up, folks. And we are currently on the 26th still in the United States. So that's really, really cool. I've still got quite a few days in October to move this forward by the end of October there. So definitely, I think still looking on track for a nice early November launch for Poly Maximus. Bullish for the Hedron HSI auctions as well. So very, very cool to do. So that's pretty much hot off the press. And yeah, it's that Poly Maximus contract sent to the auditor. So that's done. Nice. Activated a 3-day private test net. Nice. And we will finish the front end and do a public test. So we may participate on that on this channel. We've done a lot of those tests as much as we can on this channel as well. It's always fun to do it on the live stream. So very, very excited about that. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I think that's kind of the highlights there from the team, but nice. Poly Maximus gone to audit, bullish for the Hedron auctions here as well. Yeah, we might reasonably expect maybe somewhere around this time, around the Fed interest rate, that we might get that poly minting phase on. And then, of course, they've got to have all that done and dusted by the time of the 13th so that they can then bid with all the Hedron that people are going to get put into the Poly Maximus contract, and they're going to be able to go and bid on these juicy HSIs, particularly the whale-orientated ones, which I think is going to be pretty bullish. So very exciting. 67,000 T-shares up for grabs, man. Crazy stuff. 0.64% of the total T-shares, 521 million Hex. And, of course, just under 200 million Hex is in about 89 big stakes, big whale juicy stakes there. We like whale juicy stakes, and I think that's going to be pretty good. So let's see what happens to the price here. Just got a little bit of sell-off here into the Hedron at the moment. And, of course, just during the live stream, we were actually sitting at 4,000 when we started the live stream. We're now down at 3,760. So some big hands there. Obviously decided to sell down a bit. Let's have a little look at some of that on here. We're going to go back to the 4,000. Yeah, we're at just 4,000 here. We're at 4,026. So we had 42,000 sell here, 10.7 billion. But really, it was this one here. It was 48.5 billion. That sent the price down to 38,000, and that was 185,000 sell out there. We had some buying coming into it, some nice, pretty decent buying there, 45,000. And then we had another one here, 19,000 sell, 5.1 billion, put us down to 3,755. And then we had some more buying coming in there, and another 14,500 just sold just before as well. So pretty interesting stuff there. We have had some interesting numbers sold in here. And that has pretty much stopped the rally that we were having. We're getting a nice formation, and then some of the larger holders decide to sell. This one here, 98,000. These ones here, the ones that keep it tamed, as it were. So we're up at 4,400 at the top of that line, looking really nice. A nice little breakout on the Hedron. And the Hedron there. Where's the Hedron chart gone? Up top here. And of course, then we've ended up with these big sells, selling out to 57.34. Pulling the price down pretty much. And 47 here, just ending that kind of rally. Then we had a bout of red selling there as well, and so forth. We had a nice little green, whole ton of green buying, but then this big one here, it's 185, really pulling that down on top of the 42 as well. So that's kind of where we're at the stage. So when we were looking at that, down at 3,750 at the moment. We haven't quite had the rally yet. It's not started. If it's going to happen, it's certainly not started at the moment. And of course, we'll be looking for that. So took only three, four large sells, and then a couple medium ones to keep us down here at the moment. Trying to get this breakout here. We're all so close yesterday. Look at that. Yesterday was pretty close on there. We got up to 44,400, and man, it was looking good yesterday. But look how quickly times can change. Now, it can change quickly going down, but of course, it can change pretty fast going up as well. We've still got that uptrend intact here, just bouncing off the support line here. So we'll see how we get on. All right, cool. That's Hedron and Poly Maximus. Very good news, Poly Maximus. We were looking at pretty closely. Let's jump over to a Pulse Dogecoin. A man. So Pulse Dogecoin here was up really high yesterday. It got pipped 2 days ago. We almost got a new all-time high. Remember, $9.53 is the all-time high way back here on the 6th of August. And it was 2 days ago. We got up to $9.47. So close. What's that, about 6 cents, just 6 cents difference. And then yesterday we came down on a high of $9.27 with a low of $6.80 yesterday. Look at that wick, man. crazy stuff. Now we're in a new candle now. We just started this new candle, 20 minutes into it, and we're currently at $7.87. We've still got a very nice uptrend in place, but man, it's definitely got tested here. That's a pretty big volatile candle down to $4.80. Sorry, $6.80. So definitely looking pretty crazy there right now. We're going to put a little green plane on here. We've got a little green candle now. Now the transform of PLSD to ASIC is running for 2 months. Remember, here it is here, 2 months. And of course, the ASIC miner, where you just get ASIC, you don't mine for Pulse Bitcoin. That is running for 30 days. So we're just slowly working through that. And of course, the PLSD burn has been incredible. Let's check that out too. All right, so here is on the Pulse Bitcoin app. And of course, this is kind of mirroring the Bitcoin. So this they play the big narrative, and it's pretty fun. I think it's pretty fun. So I like fun things like this. So we're at 2,598,000 PLSD has been burned so far to mint the ASIC. Remember, for one PLSD, you get 5 ASIC tokens for your miner, and that's pretty much how it works. So 2.6 million has been burned. That's 42.629% of all the Pulse Dodge coin. So that's pretty crazy. That's pretty impressive. Heading up towards that 50% mark. If you remember my interview with Petey there from one of the whales in the ecosystem for Pulse Dodge coin, he was talking about 3 to 4 million he expected. He's well on track for that. I mean, we've got a long way to go. We're only a day 6 out of 60, so 10% the way through the 60-day mint phase. That's some crazy stuff right there. So we're already up to this point. So I think that range that he's talking about is quite reasonable. So looking forward to that. The other thing, of course, is that when you burn 2.6 million, there is now 12,738,000 ASICs in our house. That is the ASICs used for the miners. So it's pretty impressive. And the total supply of PLSD was 6 million. And it's now down. Obviously, there's less by 2.6 million there. So pretty cool. Now, what happens is people take this ASIC tokens that they get and they go and put it in the miner. And of course, the mining here, the reward at the moment on the, looks like Bitcoin, the reward is 5.7%. There is a deflation in ASIC tokens that you use for mining of 0.25%. So that's kind of cool. But the 7.5, that reward will halve, do a halvening, just like we see Bitcoin has a halvening for the mining block for Bitcoin miners. They use ASIC miners, physical miners, to do that. This will halve eventually as well once it reaches half of the emission block. So 10.5 million Pulse Bitcoin has to be mined. And of course, there only will ever be 21 million Pulse Bitcoin, just like there is in Bitcoin, only 21 million Bitcoin. That's pretty much it. So we've got 4,528 miners at the moment, and the halvening, zero minting progress, 8.9% on the way there. So far, 939,000 Pulse Bitcoin has been mined. That obviously won't, you don't get that until after 30 days. So we won't see that for at least another 24 days before we see Pulse Bitcoin in the market. So there's no trading pair for Pulse Bitcoin. You have to wait for another 24 days at least before you start seeing a trading pair for Pulse Bitcoin. Anything else you see is a scam. Don't get scammed. Right, so 10.5 million Pulse Bitcoin there, looking pretty cool. And of course, once it gets to that 10.5 million, or have a halvening here, so I guess the rate goes down to about 3.25 there, and so forth. So getting in early always plays well, but of course that halvening will help with value over time. I guess is the way it's going to look there at the moment. So cool. Let's have a look at the ASIC token miners. Now you don't have to get burn your PLSD to get ASIC to go mining. You can actually play a longer game, maybe a different game, and of course you can get an ASIC token miner NFT, a bit like the WhatsApp NFTs in some ways. Different, of course, but similar in the terms of the way it's being run there. You got USDC, USD Tether, DAI, Wrapped ETH, Hex, and Hedron, and of course you can use that to get some ASIC, and then of course you'll earn ASIC tokens. You won't be mining Pulse Bitcoin, but maybe in the future it might be valuable. Maybe because they're going to possibly have Pulse Litecoin, which they've already got on Twitter. So that looks like it's coming. Maybe be able to mine multiple tokens with your ASIC tokens. So that's definitely plausible. So that's kind of where we are at the stage. There are 1,433 ATMs at the moment. Now, the other thing, of course, what will these funds be used for? Will it be used to cover development costs? Will it be used to do some market buying, liquidity provision? There's all sorts of things this might do. Will it be for future development? We will see. We will see what happens to all that. So that's pretty much there. And of course, that's day 6 of 30. So that's not lasting very long. 30 days, not lasting very long. And of course, you can see that on the chart here. That's how long it's going to be lasting. So very, very cool. What will the supply of Pulse Dogecoin be at the end of 60 days? That's also the other cool thing. And of course, that's going to be big demand for ASIC because you're going to have to try and buy it on the market, and it's going to be deflationary. You're going to have obviously Pulse Bitcoin. It's going to be harder to get that as well. So they've got a lot of scarcity play coming in at the end of these 2 periods. Let me know in the chat what you think about that. So we could see some pretty dynamic things happening with the prices in Pulse Dogecoin, Pulse Bitcoin, and presumably even Pulse Litecoin when it comes. I think there's some interesting gameplay happening with this project. I'll be looking forward to that. All right, cool. That is pretty much that on that one. We're going to get the Hex daily stats. We've got day 1059 hot off the press, so we're going to talk about that. But before we do that, we're going to get into the chats and see what other comments have been made since I've been talking. Let's get into it. We think we got up. Jedi, hit the likes and share. Definitely hit the likes and share, says Wookie. I like that a lot. And G'day, says Andrew. Hey, Andrew, always a pleasure. Good to see you in the house. We got Brazology in the house. Woohoo! Feeling good about today's price? I think so, Briz. I think so. I think we're all pretty happy with the Hex Magic Carpet Ride is taking off, and looking forward to where it's going to go. That's for sure. Crypto Dan in the house as well. Hi, guys. Good to see you, Crypto Dan. And Christian Collins as well. Let's go. Hex, says Christian. I love it. And Pulsechain launch on Hex birthday. That'd be pretty nice, Crypto Dan. Christmas present would be pretty nice for a Pulsechain launch. I think once Pulsechain launches, the time that you've waited all disappears, right? It's a bit like when Hex launched, people had to wait over a year. And of course, when it launched, everything was exciting. The price was obviously relatively low, especially in January the 5th thing. But once you waited, then the Hex Goldwell come in. What was that, April or something? And the whole game started changing after that. So, yeah, it's funny. People forget pretty quickly. Funky Master Hex says, good. Oh, that's why I'm here, says Funky Master. Yeah, it's a family channel. So I should have a family channel, but unfortunately, we're getting spammed the heck out of this thing today. It's pretty crazy. Pulse Bezos in the house. Hey, good evening. Good to see you, Pulse Bezos. What else there? We got a few other comments. Crypto Dan says, worth all the late nights to watch the live, says Crypto Dan. Very, very nice. I like it. Christian, do the perpetuals get Hedron too at the end of their stake like Maxi? No, the Hedron goes to the team token for the perpetuals. So the Hedron goes to the team. Yeah, so the team token gets 50% of the bigger pays better bonus, and it gets all the Hedron from perpetuals. So that's for the team there. The team is going to get pretty much shaving of a lot of the benefits of the future product, which is cool. I think that's the right way to do it, and I like the way that they've done it. I think that makes sense. It's a bit like not too much. What was it? Too hot, too cold, just right. It's kind of like that, just right. That's for sure. I don't think so. I think those go to the team holders. That's correct. Thanks, Briz. That's what I thought. I just haven't had time to research it. And a Funky Master says, sounds crazy, but $5.55 Hex is not unreasonable in this run, 100,000 X all time. Shorter time frame, but Bitcoin did 6.2 million at 100,000 X, still only 2% of Bitcoin's all-time X's, says Funky Master. Nice one. Yeah, I made a joke on Twitter yesterday actually. Said, why buy X at 5 cents when you can buy it in the future for $5? And of course, I posted the Dumber and Dumber video, which was pretty hilarious because it's a bit like that, right? People like to pay higher prices, though, right? People love to pay higher prices. This is the way it goes. Looks like I can get Desi cheaper than Hex at the moment, says Bloodfish King. I think that is correct. To Bloodfish King. We haven't looked at those prices, but yeah, we do. I just know that too. Let's actually jump over to the Hex chain. We'll jump out of here and let's have a look at the Acosa at the moment. So someone talked about Acosa before. Look at this. Woohoo! So really linked to the Hex T-share HSI buybacks, $1.50 on the Acosa. So imagine if you decide to sell your Acosa back here for $1, you're now getting it for selling it, being able to sell it for $1.50 if you were going to do that, of course. Maybe you're not. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Very nice. Looking there really good with the Acosa. Let's have a look at some of the ratios since people are talking about it. My charts are failing to load on here. Maybe too many Hex charts in the ecosystem, overloading the old deck screener. We got the Hex base ratio. Let's have a look at that. Now, this one is showing up there at the moment. 1 to 1. That's crazy, right? That's crazy. So no premium there. We've got Maxi. So none of these are showing up. Look at them. They're all dead. They're all dead, not showing up there. Maxi USDC, that one there. I'm a bit worried about that particular pool. So cool. Let's see if I've got it on the list here. Decimus here. Decimus. That reminds me of the movie Maximus, which is what they do play on, right? I actually watched part of that the other day. So yeah. Hex Deci. I guess this is good enough. We'll look at this one. All right. Boom, 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 boom. 1.05. 1.05 at the moment. Opportunities. All right, cool. That is pretty much it. So let's get back into the Hex chart there. See where Hex is at the moment. 4.692 cents. That is where Hex is at the moment. Liquidity pool. Let's have a refresh of this. That's always good to see. And see what this is looking like at the moment. So is the Hex USD pair, DC pair there. Yep, we'll just move back a little bit here, haven't we? Move back a little bit there. So 4.7 is ahead of us there. And that's got 2 million Hex on that candle. This is where we are at the moment, market price at the moment. So cool. Look at all the buying support. Very, very nice. Great. Magic up ride time. Magic up ride. All right, so cool. Let's get into Hex Daily Stats. But we've got a couple other comments as well. Maxi's never been cheaper than Hex, says Bruce. Well, the bots are bad tonight. They definitely are bad. Get them, Sandy. Get them. Wait till the Wookiee sets up a Jedi dating site, says Wookiee. Yeah. Nice one. Man, they are really bad today. Really bad. What the heck's going on there? It's interesting to see how Pulse Bitcoin plays out, says Diddy Pause. I agree with you. Thanks, Hex Token. You're welcome, Sandy. Stevie D in the house. Hey, Superman, everybody. Good to see you, Stevie D. And Island Life is in the house as well. Good morning, everybody. Good to see Island Life as well. We've got so many cool community members. A really cool place to be. All right, so day 1059, folks. Hex Daily Stats, 26th of October. We're up 12.6%. Yeah, boy. Magic Cupper ride. Look at this. 5.8, 6.6, 11.5, 4.7, and 12.6%. Yes, please. Thank you very much. We're up to 4.72 cents on the snapshot. And, of course, this was taken about 30 minutes ago. So pretty cool. Let's have a look at the payout per T-share, 6.184. Not a lot of penalties in there today. T-share rate is at $1,177 to get a T-share. You can get that a third of the price if you stake out for 10 years because longer pays better. 20% more shares per year, up to 10 years, 200%. The share rate, a dot day again. Man, we've had a few dot days. 1, 2, 3, 4 dot days over the last 10. No, 5. 5 dot days over the last 10. That's some crazy stuff right there. We're at 24,946 on the T-share rate. And let's get to the average stake, 6.66 years there. And, of course, APY, annual percentage yield rate, the yield, which is the inflation rate, up to 3.69%, and the emergency in-stake penalties is 37.58% paid out in Hex. Obviously, the Hex price can move around in US dollar terms. Liquidity in the pool, down dramatically. Look how high we were. Look at this reset, man. We were up here 6 days ago. We were up at 296 million Hex. That went down to 256, down to 226, down to 175, down to 178. Now we're at 160. Now we're starting to talk. I'm starting to talk here. Let's get below 100, eh? Let's get below 100. Let's actually look and see how long ago it was before we were back at 100. I just realized this here might be a little bit big there. I'm just going to zoom that down a little bit there. Let's go to the last time that we had liquidity down at 100. I think that was a long time ago. So let's have a look here. We're going right back in time here. Man, oh man, has it been that long? It's probably September, right? Something like that. Pretty sure it was. Let's have a look here. I'm pretty sure we got below that time. Here. Day 683, man. Day 683. What date was that? The 15th of October, 2021. Yeah. So that's kind of that's glory time there, right? Back near the all-time high price. Man, under 100 million Hex. Crazy. 30 million US dollars in the pool too. We like that. We like that a lot. Let's go back one more time. We got down to 91.89. 33 million, 34 million in the poll. Man, that's juicy. Let's get on to that. We like that a lot. All right, so cool. That was a little bit of flashback there. Flashback. We got 14.25 million in the liquidity pool, up from 13.7. We only had back here. We had 296, 298. 14. So we're up nicely at 14.2. Very, very cool. Liquidity in the pool, 1,857. Less Ethereum in there, actually. So interesting. And, of course, let's jump over to the T-shares, down 3,760. We've got 10,446,000 T-shares. Remember, Hex is easy to understand. Check it out. Hex.com is in the video description. Join our community, of course. Now, what you've got is they've got a reward pool with inflation and penalties, so that you get, if you buy Hex and stake Hex, you get access to that reward pool. And of course, if you in the ownership pool, we have T-shares. They're basically like shares in a company, if you think of it like that. Shares in a reward pool. So they're called T-shares, or trillions of shares. And of course, very large numbers to represent how many people are in there. Something like over 110,000 stakers. So I think it's 111,000 now. And so that that ownership pool owns the rewards. So every day, if something changes in the reward or the ownership pool, then the Hex payout per T-share changes every day. That's kind of that easy to understand. A reward pool, ownership pool, that's Hex. And of course, if you want to get some of the rewards, you buy and stake Hex and get these T-shares and become part of the ownership pool. That's pretty much it. So we've got 10,446,000 T-shares. And of course, that is expected to go down over time, despite growing. So we're growing, but because the share rate is tending going up, although the last 10 days it's had 5 dot days, that is how that's going to recalibrate that. So cool. Let's jump over to the total amount staked. So 9.75% of Hex is staked at the moment. And of course, the penalties is just under 1 million penalties there. So not a big day in the office. And then that's a sort of bonus in terms of, in addition to the inflation that we get. Let's have a look at the growth in numbers. Oh man, some nice growth lately. Look at this. Current holders up 257 3 days ago, 107, 206, up to 311,807. And as we say, we know when the price goes up, like I said to you, honestly, it's hard to beat that mechanism in terms of growth. Green candle, chart goes up and to the right there. Then, you start growing. The holders start growing and the stakers start growing, all that sort of stuff. So cool. We've got the stakers up 82 today, up to 111,124. And of course, when the wallets are growing, it's really important to get out there and talk about staking Hex, all right? So you want more people that are coming in on those green candles to stake the Hex. I mean, that's what it's about. Hex is really about staking and getting in there. Now, the total holders at the moment up to 104,505, up 356. Isn't that nice? Really, really cool. Current stakers, though, 111,124. As Richard Hart always says, get out there and do direct promotions, stuff like that. Now, when you are getting Hex now, of course, you're going to get a copy on the Pulsechain. And, of course, we're expecting that to be amazing, operate amazingly on Pulsechain as well. So 2 really powerful chains, ETH and Pulsechain. And, of course, you'll earn double passive income. Sounds pretty good to me. And, of course, we've had, in addition to this, we've had lots and lots of airdrops that have gone to Hex stakers over the years. And, of course, I don't see that changing much in the future either, especially with Pulsechain launching as well. So I'm very excited about that. So we're getting closer, folks. We're on day 1,060. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo! 35 days, folks. 35 days until Hex's third birthday. And, of course, then we'll be in the 4th year of Hex after that. That's exciting, man. Really exciting. Very excited about that. So let's end our poll. I think we've got quite a few people in here. I've got 110 votes. Thanks, everybody. I love it when we get over 100 votes. Really is cool. What will the Hex price be by the Hex's third birthday, 2nd December? And let's end the poll and see what the results are at the moment. Very nice. Okay, above 7 cents. Bullish. Woohoo! By the end of by the 2nd December, 48%, 7 cents or above. That's pretty bullish. I like it. 5 to 6.9 cents, 19%. Still pretty bullish as well. So what's that? 67. So 2 in 3 people think that we're going to be 5 cents above. So it's 2 out of 3 people. That's pretty impressive. 3.1 to 4.9%. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. We're currently at 468. So that's 19%. So it's 1 in 5 people. And then below 3.1 cents, people think we're going to get that retraced and maybe follow. Maybe we follow if the market does do that final big move down. I say final with inverted commas, move down. We've got 13% looking at that one. So really cool poll. And yeah, a little bit more bullish than I expected. So that's kind of cool. Although, we have had a pretty good reversal in the old Hex chart. So probably maybe that's not too surprising. All right, cool. Let us jump out of that. I'm not sure if I've gone through all the charts that I was going to. Airdrops there. The weight token there, let's have a look there. That's at 004785. So still on the weaker side, but up 6% on the 24-hour. We've got the Zen there at the moment. That's broken down below. It's lost another 0 on the old ETH chart there. It's got 5 zeros, 9177, not surprising. And of course, we've been talking about this at the beginning. Remember my comments about people selling into a falling knife or something like that. It was crazy stuff. I mean, we knew there was going to be tons of inflation and the chart would look like this, and man, it was crazy. So it's an experiment. This is not a probability, this is a possibility, right? And it's well into the future. So just take that into account. But we'll be following its journey as an experiment there. Every so often we'll have a check-in on this. BZN, of course, on Binance Smart Chain, that was doing some weird stuff with the chart, and of course got a big rally that is finally selling down as expected. So there we are. It's got 6 zeros, 9657. Now obviously Zen is on 7 chains there, and away it goes there. So cool. I just noticed they also launched something else in there as well, didn't they? Let me have a look here under Pulsechain projects. They launched where's that gone? They launched the Zen Torrent as well. So they got the Zen Torrent as well. So that's on there at the moment. All right, cool. I know quite a few people have minted stuff for that, and of course, just waiting long term. You'll see what it's like. That's not going to make you money in the short term. So you just got to. That's for something later in the future, well in the future there, and we'll see how that goes. There's tens of thousands of cryptos, folks, out there, just the way it is. But of course, the golden cryptos are the Richard Hart projects, and of course, that is where you should really consider putting the most of your funds into. Now, obviously, you need to decide your own decisions. Nothing on this channel is investment advice. When we do talk about other projects on here, we're looking at probable projects and only the best quality rights, right? So the top utility projects, maybe 1 or 2 cool speculative plays every now and then. But apart from that, really rich art tokens are the place to be. All right, so cool. Let us jump away from that. When's Pulsechain? We're looking forward to it. And I'm getting excited that that will be due course. Now, BNB pot, which we talk about, which is a speculative play. This is apparently in maintenance again, so they're definitely having some issues there. I'm not on Telegram, so I don't have the final update. Let me know in the Discord if you have any update on that. But at the moment, it's currently at $12.34. So we'll be covering that, but they're definitely in maintenance again. So we'll find out what that is. And look at this, 8 packet 787 pulse dodge there, man. This thing's moving around like a workhorse at the moment, but the uptrend's still looking really good on the nature there. So yeah, definitely going to be interesting, man. Massive burn, man. 43%, unbelievable. What's it going to be at the end of the 60 days? It's going to be fascinating. Some really, really cool stuff there. All right, cool. Let's get into some of the chat there. We're up to an hour and 13, which is not bad. Let's get into some of the comments, though. We might leave it on the Hex chart. Hex chart is the chart of the day. And we're still in this accumulation zone. No difference with that from my point of view. If we do get that dip in November, it's going to be interesting. The higher the Hex price, the better, the more cushion that we have, too, if that does occur. What's else here? We got this. We got Stevie D. We talked about Stevie D. Christian says, I think I see Hex going up to was it 0.5 cents by tomorrow? Oh, 5 cents by tomorrow. Yeah, you put a decimal place in there, Christian. Just remember that. DB says Hex is the GOAT. Absolutely is the GOAT. Dan Dog Crypto says let's keep winning. Hex United, we are strong. Pulsechain coming. That's true. Dan Dog the Dan. Dan the dog Dan. Being early does change lives. Hex also looking to Pulse Zen early on 2,000 holders, says Dan Dog. Michael's in house there. Hey, great job, man. Much appreciated. Hey, Michael, always a pleasure, man. And what else there? Dirty Paul says, thanks for the stream. Super, got to run. And Dan Dog says, look, PZN, not inflation. Hey, that's your double shill, Dan. I don't mind one shill, but double shill, man. It's Tortoise Johnny in the house there with the ducks there. And what else there? Share Hex Token live streams out to Twitter. Definitely do that. And Tortoise Johnny in there with the hang fires as well. Hey, look, we're up to almost an hour and a quarter, and we've got more people watching than we started with. Which is a big welcome to you. Now, that makes us talk about Pulsechain. Let's talk about Pulsechain just because we talked about Hex a lot. But let's talk about Pulsechain. And I think it's this one here. So let's get into it.
I feel that the security considerations for Pulsechain's consensus strength are very, 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 very similar to Ethereum 2.0's. If that makes sense to you.
Makes sense.
We're forking Ethereum 2.0, not Ethereum 1.0. So You beat it out of me, you fucks. You wore me down, okay? So the logic was, do we have more faith in the BSC consensus, which we found flaws in, or rotating to several other options of not very well audited consensus, or the extremely well audited Ethereum 2.0 consensus? And my logic is that if you're going to make things right, doing them during a bear is a beautiful time to do it. And I think it will be quicker to use Ethereum 2.0's consensus than to properly audit and secure Corellia, which is a version of Click, which is what has a lot of problems. And so it was maximum secure and minimum time to market, because we didn't know, like, you didn't know whether the merge was going to work right. Could have not worked right. And you didn't know if they'd ever get to doing it because the delays were nearly endless. Yep. But after they did it, and after it worked right, it was the obvious choice. And so Pulsechain will have upgrades, but be primarily the same consensus mechanism that Ethereum 2.0 uses, but is now called Ethereum 1, right? Like, no one called it's not. Right. Ethereum 2 is now Ethereum 1 since the merge worked. So it's strong. It's safer, it's faster, and any upgrades that come in the future for Ethereum, such as sharding, we will get on our chain. And we wouldn't have got had we stayed with Ethereum 1, because the forks would have diverged. And so it's just better. So we're doing what's better, and it didn't take us any extra time to do it. So it's actually good news. But I got savaged so hard for giving you guys an update last time that, like, I'm super not into it. Like, I feel like someone's gonna make me eat shit for giving the good news basically now. I bet someone will. Someone will bother me and make me feel bad. Someone will make me feel bad about.
Bro, you got so many followers though, and I'm starting to feel. We will attack so many followers.
All right, so that was pretty much Richard's update there on Pulsechain, which we all love. Moving proof of stake, and of course upgradable, which is really cool. So yeah, let's hope maybe we'll get V3 in the green there in November, and maybe we might be lucky with Hopium, of course, in the December Christmas launch or a January launch would be pretty cool. Now there is a scenario, of course, that people have about March, April, but you know, we'll let's let time play out there. Let's be bullish, more bullish at this moment. Now this move here was pretty important. Maybe this was a signal of things to come. And of course, with the Pulsechain, the other thing, of course, is maybe if we see Richard get back to streaming on his channel, will be another nice bullish signal as well. So we're looking out for any of these little blues clues, as we call it, blues clues, in terms of Pulsechain. But it's coming, and of course, I think that moving the proof of stake is going to be really, really beneficial for us. A lot simpler, and of course, maybe the S-load function control, and of course, the fee, building a fee into it. Are going to play out pretty well as well with deflationary. So it's going to be fun. Love Rich says, is this live? No, it wasn't live. That's a pre-recorded from Hexologist show. Yes, it's on live. Yes, indeed. Hey, look, if you guys haven't joined our Discord, Discord is growing pretty well. The Hex Token YouTube, 5 syndicated YouTubers in here now. Crypto Heartbeat, Rags the Riches, Craig Whiting from Gen Hex, Heinz Crypto, really is expanding nicely. Really are focused on Pulsechain onboarding. So we're talking about a lot of projects. Richard Hart is forking Ethereum proof of stake. That means all the projects coming at over 550,000 ERC20 tokens coming over. It's PRC20s. It's going to be huge, folks. NFTs. Now, we haven't talked enough about NFTs and probably should talk more about NFTs on this channel. So we're probably going to do that as well. I'll do some NFT stuff. But yeah, it's going to be pretty fun. We've got 130, 140 native projects coming on to Pulsechain that are native to Pulsechain. Some of them are going to be indirectly. Some of them are going to launch on other chains and then copy over. That's some people will worry about that, but that's actually a good thing. I always highlight 3 things that are really bullish about that. One, they test their products out and have them ready for Pulsechain. The other thing is that they grow their community, and then they can migrate that over the Pulsechain as well. And number 3, a wealth effect. So a certain wealth is created there, and particularly if you're a Hexkin and things like that, you can transfer that wealth into Pulsechain and Hex as well. So this is actually a pretty good, pretty move there, and I can understand some of them moving. Particularly with how long it's taken for Pulsechain. What's it, 15 months so far since the sacrifice? So it makes a lot of sense for teams. Otherwise, we might see a second round of sacrifice raises for some of them as well in terms of capital. We've seen that with a bit like that with internet money, haven't we, with the wallet? So cool. Yeah, if you want to join, we're heading up to 950 members. We're 903 at the moment, so links in the video description. Definitely join. If you want to subscribe to this channel, subscribe, hit the like button as well, hit the bell for future videos, and of course, get in there. Really, this is about community and good information. So if you like good information, community, get in here. We've got the Rich Heart chat dedicated to Rich Heart tokens, of course, which are the gold standard, and of course we've got the Pulsechain projects as well, which are all coming, as we say. There's lots of stuff coming there, so we'll be talking about those things, the good ones generally. I typically only like to talk about the top 10 utility projects. Most of them are utilities, not all of them are utilities, and of course a few others, wildcats there as well. Texan tokens in there as well. Now they're looking to onboard up to 500,000 Texan non-coiners, and they're going global. Actually, they're doing going to be targeting another country coming up as well. Now, if you want to get to the airdrops, we've got under Pulsechain airdrops. A lot of people like to follow those. We do have a list of those here. We've got the Wait free claim, which is on now. We've got the Poor Pleb coming up. We've got the Kira airdrop as well, and of course the Texan token. Now there are qualifying criteria for each of those. But typically, they benefit people that have sacrificed a Pulsechain and Pulsex or Hex, have active Hex stakes as well. And I think you do have to get the Texan token one, and pretty soon. I think that's ending on the 11th or something. Maybe KD's in the chat there. He can let us know. But that's definitely coming as well. If you have any questions about Texan token airdrop, you can jump into the Texan token chat as well. KD, one of our moderators, moderates the Texan token community there. So definitely get into that. But onboarding for Pulsechain can be a big deal, folks. We want to take over crypto. And, we've got 130, 150 YouTubers in the space. We've got to be, welcoming all those communities. And that's what we've been focused on this channel. So we've welcomed a lot of communities into this channel already. And it's been pretty good. So we've been growing nicely from that point of view. So it's going to be fun, folks. Man. Look, can't wait for Pulsechain and Pulsex to launch. Man, is that going to be crazy or what? It's going to be insane. I'm so excited for it. It really makes me, just want to continue streaming and more about it as well. So very, very cool. Let's get into some of the comments we've got as well. We've got DB says we've got to find another paw print because that's the place to start. Yeah. I think that when Richard is really quiet, then big news always follows when he's back on the scenes. He's got Dan agreed. KD says Texan token claim ends on November the 19th. As well. Now, yesterday I did post on the YouTube channel on the community tab the fact that there is a new sacrifice version. So check that out. In fact, I noticed that on my one I got a little bit more on the Pulse and the Pulsex on there. So maybe you got a little bit more in that one. Let me know. But definitely there's a new version, and I posted that in the community tabs here on Hex Token YouTube. You can check that out. All right, cool. I think that's pretty much it. What do you guys reckon? An hour and 23 minutes, hour and 24 minutes. I think it's a good place to finish. I will catch you guys. Let's leave it on the Hex chart here for a couple of minutes. Maybe we'll go up to an hour. Oh, what happened there? We'll go up to an hour and 30. Let me know if you've got any questions in the chat there or any comments. Maybe you've seen something really cool on someone else's channel or some news. Let us know in the chat there, and maybe we can talk about that too. PT says, I need the NPCs to sell out their position, unstake the Hex. Let me get that. That stuff, says PT. That's probably true too. Brazil says, thanks for the show, Hex Token. Hey, you're welcome, Briz. And we're looking forward to your next show, Briz on the beach. Briz on the beach with Crypto Copy. Briz on the beach with Crypto Copy. You guys could co-host. I know it, Briz. I know it. Thanks, Super. Says, Rango. Hey, you're welcome. Smash the likes, people. And KD says, thanks, Super. Hey, you're welcome as well. Very, very cool. One day, says Briz. One day. Yeah. Take care, everybody. All right, so cool. Let's play out some cool stuff in. No questions in the chat there, so we're going to jump into some cool stuff here. Let me have a look here. Hope you guys enjoy this. Let's play out some fun. Fun. There we go. I can't even remember if this is the right one. Let's play this one out. All right, take care, everybody. Catch you next one. Bye for now. Woohoo!
This is the opportunity of a lifetime. Yes, every scammer in the world is going to tell you something similar, but in this case, you are actually going to have regret.
I mean, you're scamming everyone. Richard Hart, he's got a history of being called the spam master.
There's some weird things going on with his coins.
Making one of the biggest Ponzi schemes that we have ever seen.
Hex coin is 1000% a scam coin.
People are going to lose money because of you.
Remember all the haters? All the haters that told you that I was a scammer and Hex was a scam? I got bad news for the haters. We're making new all-time highs where everything else is getting wrecked. Price is up 4,000 or 5,000 fold in 600 days.
I've made enough money in the last week that I could buy a house in cash.
I would never have to work another day in my life.
I'm here to shill. I want to change the world, and I can only do that if people participate. The only thing that matters in this world is goods and services. Everything else is accounting. And our made-up imaginary internet money is better than the government's made-up imaginary internet money. Both of them are only backed by the shared fiction of the humans believing that they have value.
If Hex is a religion, then Richard is God.
I'm in crypto for glory. I want to have the best cryptocurrency that's ever existed. I want to have the best performing asset that's ever existed.
And so I think of blockchain as like the internet. In the 90s, everyone thought the internet was just for email.
I bought some this morning.
They're imaginary quarters. Like, it's like playing Monopoly.
I put it all in. I went.
Like, all what?
All of our house money.
This is a force that is not going to go away. The cryptocurrency is not going away. And at some point, the people that you met that you thought were crazy loon birds, they're going to be in the 1%, and they're going to be the people that own half everything.